Hello everyone, welcome back to another informative video. In this video we are going to be discussing the issue of whether or not a male papaya plant can bear fruits, right? Now, of course, technically a male papaya plant cannot bear fruit unless another state is induced where it starts producing female flower. But a male papaya plant by itself cannot produce fruits. They basically produce pollen, which is um, the male gamete, basically to fertilize the female papaya plant, female papaya flower. So um, in having this discussion, we are going to be taking a look at a male plant, right? So let's go. Right, so this that you're looking at is a male papaya plant, right? And it is basically characterized by the tall peduncle. I think that is what it is called, the tall peduncle extending from the node and basically attaching the inflorescence of the male flowers, and these are basically what will release pollen, right? Or pollen, however you want to pronounce it. So so how does it work? Can this male papaya plant bear fruits? Now, as I said, if you look online, YouTube, Google, you will see a lot of information saying that, and people testifying that they have indeed cause their male papaya plant to bear papaya. Now, I've never done anything to a male papaya and cause it to bear fruits or papaya fruits, but this is actually one that is growing and it is in its young stage basically, and I'm willing to try. So what I want to say is that the information out there is that you can induce stress to the plant, and it will basically cause the papaya plant to basically become an hermaphrodite. An hermaphrodite meaning that it will have both male and female flower, right? So basically this one plant would pollinate itself because it have both male and female flower on one plant, right? Now what I've come to understand is that the papaya plant, it comes as a male, it comes as male, it comes as female, and it comes as hermaphrodite, right? Now what I've also come to understand is that the papaya plant is also predisposed or genetically predisposed to what I would say hermaphroditism, where a male plant, if it is exposed to a certain level of stress, can also produce female flower, right? Or basically the hermaphrodite state. Because when you see a plant growing, what is its main purpose? Its main purpose is to grow and reproduce, and some genes in plants are basically suppressed or recessive based on certain conditions, while others are dominant. However, if you're supposed to change the conditions, you might find that genes that were recessive are not manifesting in a plant will start manifesting. Now what I'm trying to say is that the plant will always strive to reproduce. Therefore, if you have a male papaya plant, right, and it senses that it needs to reproduce, right, it has the ability to go into an hermaphroditism state where it starts to produce female flower, and then you will get your papaya, right? Now the same can be said about a female papaya plant, right? A female papaya plant, if a female papaya plant sense that, okay, then it is not being pollinated, and it is in a stressful environment, you'll find that it might tend to want to produce male flower, and that is how the hermaphroditism state will come out, or will physically manifest, even though it was recessive, right? But the plant is sensing danger, or sensing an environment that is not normal, so it is manifesting a different state through different genes, which would be the hermaphroditism genes that it was um, suppressing. So what I've seen on YouTube and on Google is that, they may push stakes or sticks through the trunk, right, just to induce some stress, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically remove some of the leaves. I'm going to remove a lot of the leaf, right? It might be it could be a state of shock and stress to this plant, um, and see how it copes, right? I'm going to remove all these lower leaves, and see how the plant will, if the plant will change, if it will start producing female flower as well. And so basically that is what I have to say about the papaya plant, and if it can be converted from a male papaya to an hermaphrodite, right? Because that is what it means when they say that they're going to cause the male papaya plant to bear fruit. It basically will not turn into a total female plant, right, from a male plant, but it can become an hermaphrodite, basically, because the hermaphroditism genes is basically in the plant genetics, but it is basically masked, while the male gene manifests, or the female gene manifests. But as I said, if you create, because it is predisposed, it is genetically predisposed to hermaphroditism, right? If you create the right stressful environment, maybe it can induce a hermaphrodite state from on a male plant, or on a total male plant, or a total female plant, right? So but on a female plant, you will already you already going to get papaya, if you have another male, if you have a male papaya tree beside that female papaya, you will get papaya on the female plant, right? But if you don't have a male papaya plant, that is where that female papaya plant can based on certain stressful environment, if you create it, can induce hermaphroditism in the female papaya, for it to have pollen for itself to pollinate its female flowers, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to basically clip off these lower leaves, right? I'm going to clip them off. I hope you understand the kind of reasoning that I'm doing, right? Hope you understand. But now I'm removing the leaves, right? I'm removing the leaves, trying to see if I can induce some kind of shock, right? Induce some kind of shock or stress to the plant, right? To see how it will basically react in terms of the inflorescence or the flowers, male, or if it will basically induce hermaphroditism, right? But I hope you understand the reasoning. So this is how the plant looks now, right? The whole idea is basically to induce some kind of stress, take it out of its normal environment. The normal environment, you know allowed it to to um to manifest uh the male version of the papaya. Now if I take it out of its normal state, normal condition, or state of growing, let us see if it will also think that it needs to um, survive. It is dying and it needs to survive. Therefore, it is going to produce female flower, hermaphroditism state. So this is how it looks. It's just an experiment. So let us see how it goes. If you have any questions, any comments, please put them in the comments here. Please remember to subscribe to the channel. Bye bye.